December 12th, 1:27 a.m. So last part in this little three-part vlog here about the channels I follow. So this last part is about the ones I follow were mostly leisure entertainment. So I divided this into three sections: the gaming channels, the Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k content lore channels, and the miscellaneous. So first part are the gaming channels. I listen to Get Daved, which is kind of a 4X player mostly. Space games, a lot of fantasy strategy games. Slow paced. Obviously everybody on my list I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching him. He has a very strategic, measured take on his gaming. Kikoskia is next. He's most of these are actually not well known. There are under 100,000 people, mostly under 30,000 K for a lot of these, but they honestly do it for fun and it's enjoyable watching them. So Kikoskia plays very old games. He like Realms of the Haunting, Eye of the Beholder, Baldur's Gate, old RPGs, and I don't know. I love the retro feel of it. After that, there's Grimith. I love Grimith. He's an amazing gamer. He really plays and gets into his games, and I don't know. He has this I don't give a fuck attitude about things, which I really I really enjoy. After that, from Grimith, I actually discovered Lethal Feline, one of the people he sometimes plays games with. Same kind of thing. I like Lethal Feline. I actually follow him who he is, but the thing is, he doesn't play a lot of compatible games with me. I don't like a lot of. I don't remember what he plays that I don't like, but I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff. Just some, like I've watched him play Prey and a few games with Grimith. After him is Quill18, actually a very popular gamer. He used to be, I think, world-renowned computer designer, engineer, or something like that. Designer and software designer rather. Sorry. And now he makes games every year in that contest, like the 2-day contest where you make games or whatever. And he's really brilliant. Plays a lot of management games, I feel like, but he has a lot of variety. You know, Factorio. He had now plays SimCity. Yeah, just a lot of things. Next up is someone I listen to for gaming news, just trying out a lot of different games or games that come out. You know what's on the monthly games list release for indie games is Splattercat Gaming. He's big on new releases, mostly for mostly indie games actually. He's really nice to watch for like which good indie games are next. I find he has really the games I enjoy. Like he made me discover Slime Rancher, which I've been looking at it for a while. It looks fun. Things like that. After him, Ultraviolent 4, which I watched exclusively for his Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup content, which is an amazing game. It's an old school tile-based ASCII. It's not ASCII, but it's tile-based. Like actually little squares, like, and your characters like on those little squares. Kind of visuals. It's turn-based, and it's it's roguelikes, actual roguelikes. You die, restart everything. So I love those games, and it's a lot of strategy involved. It's all about knowing the details of the games, the mechanics, and I don't know. I love the learning experience of them. After him, there's Marbozir, a very slow-paced strategic player. Has a very thick Norwegian accent too, I think, or I don't know if he's actually from the Norwegian regions, but anyway, after him, Cryaotic, which I haven't listened for a while, but he does a lot of readings and story-based games, very atmospheric. And finally on the gaming channels is Necroscope86, which plays a lot of shooters and a lot of horror games. He played a lot of Resident Evils, which I enjoyed. I learned a lot about the Resident Evil series from him. After those, I have my Warhammer 40k content. Now, I've read a few books of Warhammer, but I've listened to most of the lore on YouTube, I swear to God. I'm a lore whore. So first on the list is the Vaults of Terra, which are the first lore guys I ever listened to. They have a lot of 10-minute videos and shorter, which just gets you into the lore if you want a quick fix. Same with where is he on my list here? OneMindSyndicate. They have a lot of just short 10-minute videos. OneMindSyndicate had the 40 facts of 40k, which is very off the tongue, but they're down to their recent year or two has been just less than 20 facts per video sometimes. Anyway, after those, there's the Inept General, which has a lot of Warhammer Fantasy, almost exclusively, I think, if not exclusively Warhammer Fantasy content lore. Very long format, very in depth. Loves the details. Puts his own spin a little bit into the stories and the narratives, which makes it extra good. Very good storyteller, I find. After him, Tactica Imperialis, which was Warhammer 40k lore, and Warhammer lore a little bit, and does theory videos as well about 40k and Warhammer Fantasy. Then Occulus Imperia, which is very atmospheric lore, very story driven. I like to go in the woods and jog when I listen to this guy. After him, Loremaster of Sotek, which is also a Warhammer Fantasy exclusively lore story narrator. Again, very long format for him. After him, Luton09, which has a lot of other content than 40k, but has very good 40k content too. It's 40k, so it's not fantasy. His videos are about an hour long each. They're very sizable. Like there's videos about the orcs and the eldars and the imperium. After him, I need the humblest. There's kiriothTV, which does 40k content and news. So he does news about 40k, like the new releases and what they're going with the new books. I don't actually listen to the news about the games workshops, like the releases of the miniatures and stuff like that. But I still have it in my subscription feed. After him, there's ItalianSpartacus, which is an amazing lore storyteller, but for Age of Sigmar, not fantasy. Then the GrimDarkNarrator, which actually, before he went into 40k lore, which got him more famous, he did book narrations, which is horror books mostly, and war books like Gears of War and stuff like that. It's actually a very good voice. And he does Warhammer 40k now and Warhammer Fantasy lore. More 40k, but he's delving into fantasy now. Got ChapterMaster Valrak for the next one. He's basically a Primarch fanboy, so he does a lot of Warhammer 40k news and Warhammer 40k. So I listen to him for news as well about 40k content and new book-written lore releases. Then Aborder Prince, which does, he's doing his first book, Warhammer Fantasy book narration, or 40k, I mean, book narration. What's it called? Slaves to Darkness, I think. Yeah, and he does book reviews for Warhammer 40k, and does Warhammer lore and Warhammer 40k lore, I think. And then there's the last one on this list for Warhammer and 40k content, which is 40k Theories. That's the name of his channel, and he does theory videos, which are amazing. I love theory videos. Before I got into 40k and all that stuff, I was really into A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I mean, I haven't watched anything for years. I'm waiting for The Winds of Winter really to come out. But George is so stressed about it now that I've stopped watching the TV show too, because it's Diverge and I didn't want any spoilers. But anyway. The last four channels on this list is just miscellaneous. It's 2 horror channels and 2 other ones. So Lazymasquarade and DarknessPrevails. 2 really great, just like real life horror stories and stuff like that. Just like scary creepypasta and real life shopping center deep in the woods exploration stories. I really love to get in the mood for horror when I'm actually in the woods. Whenever I moved out, I was near the forested area, and I used to go out walking and jogging all the time. I love being in the woods. So I use Lazymasquarade and DarknessPrevails for those. After that, there's Arkham Reporter, which is a Lovecraft lore channel. So he does a lot of Lovecraft explanation of like the different gods in the universe, and he talks about Cthulhu, honestly. I mean, obviously. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Talks about some of the books, I think, and Lovecraft himself as a person. I love the Lovecraft mythos. I have the Necronomicon myself, so like the compendium of stories. So, and last on this list is, funnily enough, PewDiePie. So he could be on any of my 3 kinds of channels I listen to. He does news, he does gaming, he does yeah, I guess he wouldn't be in really knowledge, but yeah, he's a good person for entertainment. No, I enjoy him as a person, and yeah, you should all subscribe to PewDiePie, really. So that was it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.